Hello, fellow heroes. What's going on today, guys? What is up with everybody? Today's gonna be a long day. Today's gonna be a very, very long day in terms of streaming. I probably have not streamed this long today for a long time. For a while. We're gonna be doing. I want to give you guys my top 10 games today. We're going to be playing some more Silksong, and then we're going to be going into the Game Awards. So, let's just jump right in it, shall we? Hold on, let me make sure, because this is going to definitely take a while. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Let's jump right into it. It's gonna do a transition. It'll be okay. Ooh, actually, I can play into that. Ooh, I can actually play into that. That's actually funny. Hold on, we'll actually do that. Oh, no, because it's going to show number 1. Yeah, it's just going to be awkward. It's just going to be awkward. Okay. From the top, everybody, let's go. Hello, fellow heroes. I have been wanting to do my top 10 games of the year forever. And now I'm finally going to get around to doing it. There's going to be 3 categories that I have for kind of the top 10 games, or the reasons why they picked. It's not really the metrics of when I reviewed them at the time, but it helped me sort them in the order that they're kind of in now. I have them up here, but I know you guys can't see that. Basically, it's going to be off of gameplay loop, storytelling, and value to the consumer. What do I mean by that? Gameplay loop, just clean mechanics. How much do they handhold you? Do they respect your intelligence? Story is going to be basically how memorable it was. How much did you get out of it? And was it actually written well? And then value and intent is essentially how much did it respect the time, and was it worth the price of admission? Without further ado, this first transition is going to be wrong. It's going to say number 1. I didn't go out of my way to really fix it, so we're just going to ignore it as a group right now. But starting at number 10 for starting at number 10. For top 10 game of the years. I know that said number 1. It was supposed to actually do this. Starting at number 10, we have Megabonk. Now, Megabonk is done by an indie developer, and it's actually super cool, man. The gameplay around this game is something that you want to do all the freaking time. It's basically like Vampire Survivors. You ever played that? It auto attacks and they go in. You get to choose upgrades. You have different characters that you can unlock. You have different challenges. In terms of story, this game doesn't really have a story. It's kind of just like a giant meme upon itself, where everything is a reference to something on the internet or a TV show, or just things that we think are super cool, are gnarly. Price of admission, this game's actually really cheap. You can go buy this game on Steam. I think it's around like $20. I made the mistake of not looking up the price points for each one of these, but yeah, it's around like $20, and you can easily go in and purchase this game and have a good time with it. In terms of longevity, you play it. Some people will play it nonstop. Other people, my gosh, shut up. Other people will not so much. For me, it was good. I got about a good like maybe 10 hours out of it. But it's something that I can see myself coming back to. It's like an airport game. You play it when you're on the airport and stuff like that. But that's not without saying shout outs. I gotta say shout outs. Didn't really make the list was Schedule 1. Now, this isn't that Schedule 1 is bad or anything like that. The gameplay loop for Schedule 1 is consistent. It's fun. It's addicting, and it's all around the premise of just being a drug dealer. and selling to your customers and getting them addicted to stuff. I think this game was freaking fun. It's so fun, but it's not something that I would necessarily play. That's why I didn't really make my list, but I want to do a shout out to it, let anyone know if they haven't tried it out and they've heard about it. It really is one of those just like simulator games where you sit there and you spend most of your time doing little mini games like this over and over again, and just building upon efficiency and being more and more efficient with your time and the things that you want to do, which is what makes Schedule One a big shout out for the number 10 spot in this portion right here. So moving on to number 9 is going to be Death Stranding 2. Now, this is pretty high up on the list. I know a lot of people really like this game. Now, if this was Death Stranding 1, I'd put it higher on the list. However, for me, Death Stranding 2's story really kind of just fell apart. I was very disappointed in what the story had to offer compared to the first one. The narrative and the gameplay did not match for me. I think you're still getting a good value out of this game, the 60, 70 bucks that it is, and really only get this game if you like the first one. I say play the first one. This is one of those games where I'd say play the first one, then play the second one if you're into the story. If you don't care about the story, but the gameplay loop of just like taking packages from point A to point B looks fun for you, definitely get this game, because the gameplay is way better in this game than it is in the first game. But let's go ahead. Let's do shout outs real quick, because I have another shout outs for the number 9 spot on our list. Is Dune Awakening. Now, Dune Awakening was a really interesting thing for me. I don't normally like to play survival type games. So I'm not really into them. There's been a lot of them that are being made, or a lot of them that's going to be pushed in the future. But when it comes to Dune Awakening, what was really cool for me was being in the Dune universe and just the freedom to kind of do whatever I want. The gameplay loop of going out, scavenging, using those things to build something new, using that new thing to build something else is very much like Schedule One, in the fact that I guess Schedule One is a survival game, but as a drug dealer, so it's a survival drug dealing game. When you put it that way, yeah, that's more of a selling point. But I really liked the gameplay loop of Dune Awakening. I liked it up until Endgame, and then I was kind of done. I was kind of like, oh, the idea of having to rebuild your base and the PvP and all of it just seemed like it was all second thought. It seemed like the survival aspect of the game was first, and then the MMO aspect was second. It was real. At times it could be real annoying to do dungeons and to do activities with your friends. Which made it tough. Luckily, you pay for it once. It's not like World of Warcraft or Blizzard where you have to pay a subscription for it. So I think that's worth it. And it makes for a really great single player experience. So if this is a game that you're just wanting to try out for the survival aspects alone, definitely go in and get this game. I wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to play with your friends or anything like that. But with all said and done, let's move over to our number 8 spot on the list. Number 8, we have First Berserker Kazan. I actually ended up really liking this game. This was a game I didn't end up beating, but was having a lot of fun with. It's hard. It's a linear Souls-like game. So it really takes a lot from, Dark Souls or From Software games, but it has an anime aspect to it that you can go in, and I think it's pretty forgiving. It's challenging enough, but the respawn points aren't like crazy hard. So if you're, usually the place where you're going to respawn at is in front of a boss, and the linear aspect of the game makes it to where you're always just moving forward. You're never necessarily having to backtrack, and sometimes just the trash mobs can be annoying to deal with. But overall, the gameplay loop is solid. The story itself, it's a story of revenge. I wouldn't say the story is anything crazy memorable. You're really going in for the game, and they give you a lot to do. Just because it's a lot of times when you play a linear game, you're only given like 20 hours maybe 15 hours of story, of gameplay. No, this game just keeps going and going and going. There's 3 acts, and every time you finish an act, you feel like you've done a lot and you've grown. I wish there was more customizations into the game. Really, there's kind of like 3 ways of playing. You can play with 2-handed weapons, you can play with a really big sword, or you can play with like sword and shield. There's not a lot when it comes to huge customization in the game, which can be pretty disappointing, that part. But other than that, first Berserker Kazan is definitely something that I had fun with. And if you're into Souls-likes and you want something linear, check this out. It's a lot of fun, and it will kick your butt. I promise you that much. So let's move on to number 7. At number 7, we got Ninja Gaiden 4. Ninja Gaiden 4, really fun. I actually ended up only getting excited for Ninja Gaiden 4 when I played Ninja Gaiden Black, which I like. I love Ninja Gaiden series now. This is something I always wanted to get into and never really understood why people liked it. Because, I was like, oh, it's a hack and slash game. I don't really see much of it anymore. But I never really played it. After playing Black, I was super excited for 4. And then once I played 4, it was very reminiscent of Ninja Gaiden Black. So if you like the old series, you'll still like this game right here. It's not exactly the same. It doesn't have the same entertainment value. And what I mean by entertainment value, I just mean by fan service. The story's really good, though. The story's decent. It does... I don't want to say it does the bare minimum requiring from a story, but when it comes to like nowadays where a lot of studios have a hard time understanding the bare minimum of writing, I will say this is going to sound really weird, but for those of you who are writers, you may understand what I mean. They do the bare minimum at making a great story. So something that's really hard to do is having a character want one thing, but then they have to do another thing. You would think that would be the bare minimum for storytelling in general, especially with studios that are pumping millions of dollars into games. Unfortunately not. This game is able to do it. So you have a decent story that you can easily follow along with, get attached to in some way or another, and then the gameplay loop is just so much more fun. It's so fun. You get to choose what weapon you want to go through. It's a great hack and slash game. It challenges you. It's constantly telling you it's okay to practice. It's okay to try out your new weapons. It's okay to push yourself in these situations. And you find a flow and a style that you like, then you can stick to it, and you kind of kick butt doing so all at the same time. Melanie, welcome to the chat. All right, let's move over to our number 6 spot in our top 10 games. This one surprised me the most. Congrats on beating Hollow Knight. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Split Fiction was Split Fiction was a game that I played with my wife, and it was so fun. It was so fun. It won me over. I didn't like this game when I was first going into it. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to care about the story. I don't know if I'm going to care about anything that goes on with these two girls. Is this game really catering towards me? Oh, this game is so good. This is just, you have a good story when the characters start off one way, they acknowledge how they are acting, and then they change towards the end. So I appreciate the story for winning me over. I appreciate having to go into and experience that. And then I also appreciate just the gameplay. The gameplay is so simple. It's one of these games where they don't make enough co-op games. I feel like couch co-op games are something that are of the past. They're kind of a relic. Whenever they do come out, we need to appreciate them. And these guys do a great job at continuing to make co-op games. Even more of a reason to purchase. I think this really strikes home at like helping the consumer. Is you buy one copy of the game, you can send a code to your friend, and then they can play it with you without having to buy a copy of the game. And that's just a big incentive alone to get people to play, because a lot of times nowadays, people don't really meet up. Everything's happening online. So whenever you want to play a game with a friend, it's always like, hey man, just buy this game, dude. Oh, don't worry about it. Just buy this game. And the fact that they let you purchase this game and send a code is huge. So we got good story. We got decent gameplay. That you and your friends have to work together. I wouldn't say it's like challenging, It is a platforming game, as you can tell from here, but it is cooperative. You can't play this game by yourself. It is impossible to play this game alone. This is a game where you need to have someone doing something and helping you, and you both need to succeed in the process. And I think that's good. I think that's really good, and I think that's fair, and I'm all for it. So let's move on to our number 5 spot in the top 10 list. So making my top 5 games this year is going to be Battlefield 6. Man, did I have so much fun in the beta. Man, did I have fun when the game came out. Man, is it just kind of a return to form when it comes to playing shooters in general. Now, this is showing off their Battle Royale map and things like that, but mainly I spent most of my time playing in just Battlefield multiplayer. I had fun with the Battle Royale. I'm not big on Battle Royales personally, but they are a good change of pace from time to time. I didn't touch the story in this game. I think the story comes from the ones that you make with your friends. That's what I've always loved about shooters, and I think Battlefield 6 has always been great at giving you just those micro moments that you get to have with your buddies where something crazy happens, or someone saves you, or you guys take a point together, or you're getting swarmed. There's just so much about this game that is for the players and designed for them. This is this is a full price game. It's a AAA game, but if you're doing it for the multiplayer, if you just want to play shooters, if you're a big fan of that, definitely Battlefield 6 is the shooter. You think about when you go to play like Black Ops 7, not really memorable moments when it comes to Black Ops 7. Not a lot of memorable things that go on, or you think back to your friends. You kind of just play a match, you go into a different map, and you do the same exact thing. You could say the same for Battlefield 6, but I feel like there's always something. There's always something that's happening. There's so many variables that happen in this game that can make such a difference. So Battlefield 6, definitely one of my top 10 games of this year. Let's move on to category number 4. For number 4, I'm putting Arc Raiders. Now, this is a weird one because I didn't really play Arc Raiders a lot. I was really debating on if I should play Arc Raiders. Or should put Arc Raiders on this list, I apologize. And when it came down to it, I was like, yeah, I want to, because I think Arc Raiders has done a great job. What I really liked about Arc Raiders, with the little that I played, this is just like Dune Awakening for me. This is a game where I don't really care for the genre. I've never really cared for extraction shooters, but this game is digestible enough to where I don't mind. I want to experience the extraction shooter. I want to try more of this. It takes me out of my shell. And I think that's the whole thing about Arc Raiders, is that it allows for extraction shooters to be available to a more general audience. And the thing about extraction shooters and why it's good for that is it elevates the genre. I do think that this is like the shooting game of the year. This deserves to be the shooting game that challenges Call of Duty, that challenges Battlefield 6 to try do different things or to innovate, because you get to have very unique experiences inside of extraction shooters that only extraction shooters can give you. And I only played a couple of matches, and I had an experience that I never experienced before. So in terms of storytelling, it's just like what I was saying with Battlefield 6. It's kind of like your own type of storytelling that's going on. It's your own type of thing that gets you involved in it. And that's what makes this game beautiful. That's what makes it game of the year right there. Is it pushes and innovates a genre for a more general audience, and allows players to interact with each other in ways that we don't normally interact with each other, that goes on with recent shooters of the genre. So Arc Raiders, go check it out. The reason I didn't really play it, and the reason you're about to hear why I didn't play a lot of these games, is, well, because I just didn't have enough money. It was Broketober. A lot of games were coming out. I had to start picking and choosing. I had to start thinking about other things that were going on, and that's just kind of what happens. But if looking back on the games that I would want to go play, this is one of them. And speaking of looking back, speaking of games that I love to play and want more of, let's look at number 3 in my top 10 list of games of 2025. We're looking at Wildgate. Okay, all right. I know. I did a video on this. I highly recommend anyone and everyone to go check out my Wildgate video on why I love this game and why it's kind of a sad tragedy about this game. So you can see that this game doesn't even get a user score mix, but it's 11 users, 10 critics. No one really even reviewed this game. They did review this game, but no one really looked at this game, I guess, the way that I thought it. And I felt like this game was specifically made for me. I felt like this was a game that was the closest to a niche I've ever wanted. And that's where I fell in love with this game. I don't think there's a lot of bad things about this game other than the fact of the requirements of playing. This is like the baseball of sports. Like when you and your friends, you think of like sports you play with your friends back in school, right? And look at all the explaining I'm doing for this game, but you'll get it. It'll make sense here in a second. You like basketball, you just need a basketball and a hoop. Football, you just need a football and a street or a field, right? You can't really play golf a lot with your friends unless you have like some signposts and some clubs, and that's just expensive. And baseball's the same way. Like you kind of need a field, you need bases, you need bats, you need there's layers, and that's what Wildgate is. There's too many barriers to entry for Wildgate to the point where it is a simulator. It is a ship crew simulator. And let me see if I can put up a video for you guys, so you guys can see what Wildgate's all about. Wildgate trailer. It is a ship, a crew space fighting simulator, and that's what I love about it. That's what I've always dreamed for, is being on a ship with my friends. And everyone has a job. There's a pilot, there's a gunner, there's a engineer, there's a scout, and then you can do these dungeons. So it's PvE meets PvP, and really Wildgate is Sea of Thieves with more of a focus on the PvP, which is why I never could get into Sea of Thieves, because it was too much PvE. But I think that's why Sea of Thieves has lasted so long, because it's had something that people can do. And a lot of the complaints that a lot of people say for Wildgate is that they want there to be more of a PvE, something to do when your friends aren't around. And because this game requires your friends to be playing with you and requires your friends to be doing things with you, it died. It died before it could even pop off. So my dream is to see more games like Wildgate, more games that can survive and surpass Wildgate. But this is one of those games where I think goes against this is a personal pick for Mario. Now, this game's pretty cheap. If you go buy this game, there's probably no one to play with, and the NPCs are super easy to kill. So purchase this game at your own. There's a big warning. There's a big asterisk when it comes to playing this game, because it's essentially already a dead game. Anyways, before we move on to the top 2 games of this year, I want to bring up I messed up. Somewhere along the lines, I messed up. It's okay. You guys can make fun of me. I'll edit it. This is a future Mario problem. I think this is number 3. And this is number 4. If not, we just put an extra one in there. There's an extra number in there. That's my bad for not keeping up. I got too distracted in how I was talking. My number 3. Let's go to number 3 game. Let's go to number 3 game. Next year, I'll have like sticky notes, and I'll take off a sticky note, and I'll know which one I'm on. So I'll be able to do that better. Let's do this. Okay, let's go to number 3. So, Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, this is a game I haven't technically beat, but we are all kind of aware of Hollow Knight Silksong. This is a game that broke the internet. I played Hollow Knight, just beat Hollow Knight, and my gosh, did that game turn me into a Metroidvania fan. I just put out a review for that one. Go check it out. Go check out my full review over Hollow Knight. Shout out to that game. But no, Hollow Knight Silksong's been really fun. It's harder. It's way more challenging. There is a completely different feel to the game. There's different abilities. There's different ways that you can fight. And so it's more Hollow Knight, but it's different, which is the exact type of sequel you would want in a game. And I appreciate that so much from a sequel and from these people who made the game. You can tell there's a lot of love, effort. It's simplistic. The gameplay loop is addicting. And the story, well, I'm really getting into the story. It's a lot easier to follow this story than it was to follow Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was all atmospheric, all in the background, whereas this game is definitely more in your face. The protagonist talks, and a lot of people are going about things. And price, it's cheaper than most AAA games. It's cheaper than most AAA games. If you're not a fan of Metroidvanias, but you've always wanted to get into them, definitely get into the Hollow Knight series. If you haven't tried Hollow Knight for whatever reason, go play it. Go play it. Even if you're just curious about Metroidvanias, go play them. Go check them out. Anyway, Silksong is made number 3. Before we get into my top 2 games, I want to go over some honorable mentions. Starting with Mecha Break. Now, this is another game where I go against the grain, where I'm kind of a contrarian here, and I'm going against popular opinion. Mecha Break is just a really good mecha PvP game, and there's not a lot of them out there. It's for free, so you can try it out. The microtransactions really suck, but there's nothing stopping you from playing the game and getting into the game. What I really don't like about this game, what this game really fails to do, for me, is that it fails to give you heroism in kind of like a hero shooter game. There's a huge emphasis on team building. So if you go into a situation all by yourself, the time to kill in this game is so long that if you get ganged up by one extra person, it's kind of GG's. That's it. It's whoever plays together wins together. That's how this game works. Playing by yourself just sucks. It sucks. There needs to be ultimates, or there needs to be something else added to this game to where one person can take on multiple people, and then it comes to a skill, makes it a little more skill based in that sense. But that's kind of what hurt me for the game. I love that you get to create your own character. You get to have your own waifu character that makes their own, mech suit. Interestingly enough, you let people have the option to make characters. Most diverse cast of characters I've ever seen in a video game. All these games try to introduce DEI, but the second you give players options on how to make their own characters has the most diverse selection of people, player-made characters I've ever seen. So Mecha Break, honorable mention, something worth checking out. Going over here, huge right here, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. This one was a freaking stealth drop for us. Oblivion's always had a better story than Skyrim. I've always heard that. I finally got to test that. This game came out when I was a kid. I used to watch my dad play this game, and then I played a little bit of it, but never got in, never fully beat the game until the remaster came out, and boy, am I glad I did. So if Oblivion is a game that you've just never played because Skyrim's come out every year for every console, I mean, they just announced it for Switch 2, go play Oblivion. This is worth it, and this is a one-to-one. This is how you should do remasters. Man, this is how you should do remasters. They left everything in there. It would have been nice if they got rid of some of the bugs, but they left everything in there. So you get to experience the game how everyone else got to experience the game, for better or worse, and I think that's the best part about Oblivion Remastered. Another shout out, another remaster going out towards Ninja Gaiden Black. I talked about this already a little bit. First time I ever got to play a game, a Ninja Gaiden game, and I loved it. It this was like 2000 to 2010. This was kind of like a golden age situation for video games in a sense. Everyone was really making their own characters, making their own IPs, really just going out of their way and creating stuff that's original and entertaining. They were making games that they would want to play for an audience that could, agree with them. And this is one of those games from that era, and it really shines. I do prefer this game over Ninja Gaiden 4 for entertainment purposes, and again, I said for fan service and stuff like that. But yeah, go try out Ninja Gaiden Black if you were ever curious of what this era of gaming looked like. It's absolutely fantastic. A game I haven't gotten to play but only heard a lot of good things about had to have been Escape from Duckov. Escape from Duckov is a game that I'm gonna have to get. I'm gonna have to try at least once. It just looks fun. That's it. Nothing else other than that. A top-down extraction shooter. You play as a duck. Everything looks cute, but it's in this really mature setting. So I heard a lot of great things about it. This is one of those games that I feel like I would play on a Steam Deck, which, if anyone's listening, Mario's trying to get a Steam Deck for Christmas here. But yeah, Escape from Duckov's. Why not? This one, huge one. I just missed it because I didn't have any money. Hades 2. I loved the first Hades game. I was really looking forward to Hades 2. I think I ended up picking just a different game that came out over the time. I'm probably going to end up playing this game on stream, and then I'm probably going to end up reviewing this game. But this is a game you guys got to pick out. I don't know where I would place it, but I never actually beat the first Hades game. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a back-to-back Hades where I beat the first one, and then I go and I beat the second one, and we try to see how we go from there. But Hades 2, great one. Another one that I just didn't have money for was Final Fantasy Tactics. You guys are seeing a trend here, right? These are games that I really wanted to play. These are games that I was looking forward to. Final Fantasy Tactics I played as a kid. I played back in like middle school on my PSP. I was so excited here that it was coming out. I could play it on my PC. This was the first Tactics game I ever played. I was really bad at it. This was before I ever played Fire Emblem. Man, trip down, like just even looking at them swinging brings nostalgic vibes to me. A trip down memory lane. Definitely check out Final Fantasy Tactics if you're a Fire Emblem fan or if you're looking into any one of those games. Speaking of being fans of games, we have Digimon Story. Game that I didn't get to. Probably the first Digimon game that's done better than Pokemon. Believe it or not. Better than Pokemon. So, another one. I may or may not play this one on stream. I haven't decided yet. Depends on how crazy January is going to be on games. But yeah, this one's one that's going to be in my backlog for sure. Donkey Kong Bonanza. We're speed running through these a little bit. Everyone heard great things about this game. Why didn't I get this game? I didn't buy a Switch 2. I didn't see the value in buying a Switch 2. I didn't see the value proposition coming back for me. And so far, the only thing I've really missed out on is Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Bonanza. So I think I can live with that. If you have a Switch 2, you've probably already bought this game. If you did, this one's such a stipulation because it's like everyone who has a Switch 2 has this game. Everyone who doesn't have a Switch 2, what other game do you have, right? So it's just that this one's a weird one. One that I really regret not taking part of was Dispatch. Dispatch, I feel like I have to play on stream. I feel like the story would be fun. I think it would be fun to see me critique the story for sure. But everyone loves this game. People are wanting this game to be Game of the Year. And lastly, but definitely probably not least, a game I'm looking forward to is Peak. You saw every streamer playing this. You saw everybody. Well, I guess I didn't talk about Dispatch enough for those of you that didn't know. But Dispatch is essentially a story-driven game where you make decisions in the game. So an interactive story. And I like those kind of stuff. I really do. Peak. Another cooperative game, something I would like to play with my wife, something I'd like to play with Amy, my partner, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. I really do. I think Peak would be a great time It looks fun. It looks like you can have a reason to get mad at your friends, and I'll try it out. I think I don't know how much value you get out of it, but it's just on my list. It's something to look out for. Now, we're getting to my top 2 games. I had the hardest time deciding which game should be game of the year for me personally. I had the hardest time picking my number 1 spot. At one point, I was going to say that they're tied. I really was going to say that they're tied. And I just decided not to. So I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off at number 2. Because once I say what number 2 is, you guys are going to know what number 1 is. Here's the number 2 spot in Mario's top 10 games of 2025. We have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I want this to be my number 1 game, guys. God, I love this game so much. I think personally, I don't know. They're to me personally, they're tied. To me, the number 1 spot and this game are tied. I love this game so much. I love this series so much. Why is it number 2? I think this game is hard to get into. This game's easier to get into than the first game. But this game is very niche to the point where it really is just kind of hard to get into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It is. But once you start going, once you get past it, once you kind of learn the game, man, it feels so good. Man, is the story so great. Man, is the interactive and the immersiveness and everything so good. I think the story is a step down from the number 1 spot in the game, only because you can easily kind of like forget that your decisions matter, but at the end they show you your decisions matter, and you're just like, there's rarely ever a time that I've wanted to go back and immediately play a game again. There's rarely been a time I've wanted to immediately go back and play a game. This is one of them, and I still have the urge. For me, the replayability is it. This is a 10 out of 10 game for me. This is a 10 out of 10 game. Because the one thing I say that it's hard to get into that could scare people away, that you're like, oh, Mario, but like, how's it a 10 out of 10 if you have that critique? It's meant to be that way so that the game is more fulfilling. Because once you get past that really like sluggish, slow first part, you understand why they did it. And you appreciate the game even more for it. And I think a lot of people, especially with video games, they just want to go in and just play it and just get things done. And I think what this game needs to do, I don't know. It needs to figure out a way to make that beginning part not so grueling, but also keep how fulfilling it is to grow. Kind of like how Elden Ring does, because anyone can jump into Elden Ring and understand Elden Ring and immediately just go and do stuff. That's it. Like that's how Elden Ring works. This game, not so much. This game, it really expects everyone who plays it to be smart, but I think this and Elden Ring are the ultimate form of RPG. This is the ultimate form of immersive RPG. So just go play Kingdom Come Deliverance. And for the first act of the game, for everything in the start of the game, you'll know it. You'll know when you're out of it. You just got to push through. Push through it. Just try and push through it. And if you can push through it and you end up still liking it, you're welcome. And the reason why I had to put this game as number 1, this next game, is because there's no stipulation to this game. I have no stipulation for this game. So let's go ahead. You guys already probably know what it is, but let's go ahead and reveal our number 1 spot for Mario's top 10 games of 2025. Expedition 33. Of course, come on. What else would it be, guys? Man, there is no stipulation to this game. You don't like turn-based games? Too bad. This game is still going to be for you. This game has everything you could want. People say, oh, it's too repetitive. Oh, this game, you can make it as difficult as you want to be. This game gives player option. This game's story is so fucking good. God, the story is so good. This is what good writing looks like. Let me tell you something. If the game can convince the player character to do something, you set up a premise, and by the third act, you have convinced the player, you have convinced the audience to do the complete opposite of what you told them to do in the beginning, you have written the best interactive story you could for a video game, and that's what this game does. This game wasn't even priced. This game was cheaper than most AAA games. This is a indie developed game, and it runs circles around the industry. This game is an example of what gaming used to be. This game is an example of what gaming should be. It's a return to form for the industry. It is what every game should strive to be. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, well, turn-based games are dead. Now it's all about live service games. Don't let anyone tell you that. Don't let any of these game journal media people tell you something's dead. Because if you love something, if you have passion, and if you know how to make it good, you are going to get Clair Obscur's Expedition 33. That's what you're going to get. That's what's going to make this is an instant classic game for a specific reason, because it does everything that the industry tells us you can't do. God bless them. God, man, am I happy that this game exists. This is right after Baldur's Gate 3, man. I guess Astrobot won last year, huh? Oh, man. So that's been my game of the year. I'm debating whether I should do most disappointing games of this year. Oh my gosh, people would hate to see that list. Some of the things that I have on that list would make people so mad. But I loved Clair Obscur Expedition 33. If you guys ever want to catch me reviewing video games or going over any of these other things, you can always catch my stream. You can always catch me 2 p.m. Eastern time talking about the industry. And until next time, guys, play nice. All right. That was fun. We did it. All right, so it is 3 o'clock. I think I messed up the order at some point, but it's okay if we did. We're gonna go over to Silksong. We're gonna play Silksong probably for 3 hours, and then I will play what's it called? Then we'll play the Game Awards. We'll do the Game Awards show. So let me let's go ahead. Let me start up another stream. Silksong reuse. Okay, go over to the Silksong stream. We're gonna go play some Silksong. We're gonna go have some fun with that. Let me change things here on YouTube or Twitch, and we'll be good. We'll be fantastic.